Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Karen Mikowski, aka Butterfly Karen. Welcome. So, welcome to this evening's interactive remote viewing session. Well, it's been an interesting week. So, as we know, and for all of those who celebrate Halloween, happy Halloween for last night. I didn't do anything apart from put barriers up and everything, but I'll explain in a moment. So, before I get started, I want to log the time and date and all that good stuff. So this is IIDR43, and it is the it is November the 11th. Sorry, no, it's not. November the 1st. Okay, interesting. Oh God, I'm on a completely different timeline right now in the dimension. Well, I'm already tapped into the high dimensions, but I'm on you're just gonna have to bear with me. Time is irrelevant when I start channeling oh, I can't even, it won't even show you. It is okay, it's November the 1st 20, for the love of God, just can't see it. It's November the 1st 2024, and it's 8:17 p.m. do you know? So we're clocking in at 8:17 p.m. Okay, so yeah, well, Halloween is, well, Hallows Eve and all that stuff, as you know what it's like. Some people celebrate it. It's their sort of holiday of the year. Oh, it's going to keep, the temperature's dropped a lot, so I've just got to a lot of witches and warlocks like to get out and do some witchcraft and all that kind of crap on Halloween. You know, it's their sort of like holiday. So, but for me, someone like me as a minister in this sort of field, I have to do a lot of sort of cleaning up after these little witches. We'll practice the dark arts and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with like being a witch or anything like that, but I don't like the crap that they do to other people. I don't like it. I don't like too many energy releasements. So I had to clean up that shit, unfortunately. So as a minister, it really brings off the pissed off pasture in me. But I'm very aware of this sort of like, this time of the year. They like to go full blown insanity. That's all they are. They just like to, and you know, it's sad because they send all this like energy manipulation and energy attacks and stuff like that to people. So that most people don't even realize they've been attacked by people they know. So yeah, last night it was, I was very aware. I put the shields up and everything, and you know, I just feel like a lot of weird crap was sent back to the senders. So be aware of that, peoples. I know, like, I know a lot of people don't really, maybe don't really believe in that sort of stuff, and that's okay. Don't give it credence, but don't think for a second it's not real. Witches and little warlocks and all that, they've been doing this for centuries. This is, yeah, these are very old practices. So Halloween, Hallows Eve, it just brings out the demented witches at the worst side of them, unfortunately, and stuff like that. So you can practice what you want, but you hurt another person with your bullshit and your witchcraft and your spell work and energy attacks. Yeah, well, it's on you. The universal laws apply to you peoples too. So that felt big last night, and I kind of wanted to interact last night. I wanted to do the video last night, but I knew I was going to be busy cleaning up a lot of shit. So that was how I sort of celebrated Halloween. It's like being aware of it and just connecting to the energy field and the collective, and just so much. And it's weird because this is like the year of karma anyway. It's almost like they haven't learned a damn thing. These people have not learned a damn thing. Like a lot of people have been going through some really crazy stuff this year. Like they've been kicked in the teeth by karma, and they're just still not learned a damn thing. That's how demented they are, unfortunately. Like, well, I've had my karma. I should be all right now to start a new cycle of it. Right? So it's just jealousy that fuels these sort of people that have to mess around the dark arts, and it's just jealousy. that really triggers it, or they want something. I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, last night this year I just felt like, because we hit the sort of like the new moon in Scorpio, so you know what that energy is going to be like. Yeah, it's going to be crazy and passionate and all that beautiful stuff, and so the energy is going to be all anyway. So that's kind of the sort of astrological side of that is happening, but I'm not an astrologist, so I'm not really going to focus on that. But it just feels like this Halloween was going to be a weird one for those that really sort of like are for the lowest order of all, right? Depending on what they believe in and stuff like that. But it's those that practice sort of dark arts and energy attacks. They don't believe in anything good. They're not about the light or anything like that. So just be careful. Like I always, it doesn't matter if you believe in it or not, but if you feel like, I don't know, or if you just know if you know that you've been attacked, just return it to sender, do a cleansing. You can reach out to me and stuff like that. I can do a releasement. You can go to my website. I do these all the time. It's annoying. I just did one the other day, and it's just like, but it was interesting as well because that's ironic. Because I ended up, because of a time zone difference between, and I'm obviously not going to mention who it was, but there was a time zone difference. And by the time I would have been performing the releasement, oh, hello there. Okay, we've got energy coming in, so feeling it. So because of the time zone difference, those people, and I had to do it on multiple people too, like releasements and cleanse. Oh God. And they would have been asleep, but obviously I got the permission. So, and I don't really need permission to do releasements. Any healing, sending healing in a distance, yeah, that's a little bit different, but releasements, but I still like to sort of get permission anyway, and it just felt like as soon as I sort of jumped on the quantum field and I went and I was doing a remote viewing method, obviously, it was just dark. Like, what in God's name is wrong with people today? Like, the level of dark energy that was sent to these people was just, it was all fuel from jealousy and bitterness and rejection. That's what will make witches, right, or practice the dark arts, very insecure women. Unfortunately, these are the majority of them. You reject them, you've had it. Whether you're rejecting a friendship or you're rejecting them, in whatever capacity, but all bets are off. They just go full. They've got zero emotional maturity at all. Rather, they just act on the emotions, and it's like, well, what happens now? What's the no gods? So I ended up spending a full, it was over an hour. It was beautiful for me because I was in such an amazing meditative state too, and I was like remote viewing, but I was just cleaning that shit out from that, just pulling out, releasing it, getting all the disgusting black magic. Probably a bit of voodoo was there. Nothing wrong with voodoo, it's just the intention behind everything I'm talking about. But I pulled a lot of like dark matter, dense energy, pulled it out and absorbed it, released it, and then I was just throwing light force everywhere. So whoever sent that, it didn't do anything, but it took me, it was, but it's sad because I kind of knew this Halloween was going to be a bit busy for that kind of crap. So yeah, so that's done. And like I say, I just shields up, and there was just people I was sort of clerking last night and stuff like that. Actually, I've been clerking certain people for days, just because I know of certain people that are under attack. I'm just sort of clerking them, and that way, if anybody did try and send anything to them last night, nothing's getting in. It'll just rebound back to them anyway. So that was Halloween. How was yours? Now, woo, this has been an intense week. had a major download. Well, I've got two, but a major download. I mean, I've got like, I ain't even like writing it up. I'm just going to go with it. But that was like, how many pages back to back? 13 pages. This one's interesting. Oh my God, I don't know if there's something going on with possibly the quantum financial system. This could be to do with that, or it could be happening now, but I'll get into that in a moment. Now, I was obviously connected to the higher order on the 28th of October 2024 at 7:23 a.m. So I just kind of let it all come in, and then, you know, oh, excuse me. Bizarre. Excuse me. So, the visual interaction I had to see was just intense for this one. But because it's so long, I'll be discussing that in a moment. But the first part, but then on the same day at 8:23 p.m., I was like relaxing, but I was connected to the high. I'm always connected to the highest order anyway, but I was connected to the, you know, the HO, and then I just got this message, like it was just a transmission message. It was interesting, so I'm going to be discussing that first, even though that was later in the evening that day, and then I'll just get this one out of the way, and then I'll discuss the download, because I'm going to have to explain. And then once I just feel like there's still stuff coming in, so I'm going to be reconnecting to the higher order, which I'm going to be remote viewing, as you should know by now. And then see if there's anything more to do with this, or to do with IIDR. Well, this is all part of IIDR43. Now, this is interesting. So I'll just discuss this one first. 8:23 p.m. October the 28th, 2024. So this is what I was receiving. I received a message from the GBOL, the Great Brotherhood of Light, regarding the Carrasbian Airways. First time I've heard of the Carrasbian Airways, like, being mentioned. So the Carrasbian Airways frequency for teleportation and telepathic communication is now a safe line for those who need to teleport from multi-dimensions. You can now safely activate your electrokinesis ability. Brotherhoods for the lower order, working for the lower order, using dark dense energy, have now been blocked from accessing information. Any part of these brotherhoods sort of working alone are being heavily monitored right now. So it's sort of like, you know, I don't really know. I just felt like the way it was coming in was any of the brotherhoods working alone, like, you know, sort of disconnected from the major. I feel like I said, if you look at my other videos all year, I've been discussing that there's been breakdowns of like organizations and cults and everything all year, and I feel like that includes brotherhoods, and I feel like some big organizations, and they're breaking down, collapsing from within. I'm not really surprised by this, but obviously this transmission came in at this on the 28th, but it was all to do with the Carrasbian. What was I saying? Carrasbian. Charlie, Alpha, Romeo, Alpha, Sierra, Bravo, India, Alpha, November. Carrasbian Airways. So this is apparently a particular frequency only when you connect to the Carrasbian Airways frequency. This is for people that do a lot of teleportation. Obviously, telepathy is we've all sort of got that ability, but that's very prevalent when you're when you're sort of mind traveling through the Carrasbian Airways frequency right now. So if anybody's tapping into that, apparently you know what it felt like? It was not safe for a while to be mind traveling on the airway because there was interceptions from the lowest order. Hopefully I'm going to get more information on that tonight when I reconnect to the higher order. But now there was the Brotherhood of Light, the Great Brotherhood of Light, they were stating that airway now, that frequency is safe to start for those that want to mind travel through teleportation, but the telepathic communication for that line. That's good. It's a good way to say. It's like, so think of the interdimensional bridge that connects you to the multi dimensions, but it feels, this one's like there was like a frequency people will connect to that. I don't know. It was like it was off bounds for a while. That's how it feels like. It was sort of, they had to shut it down so nobody could connect to the Carrasbian Airways for a while. So if any of you peoples out there that know what I'm talking about and you've not been able to connect to the Carrasbian Airways, and it's weird because I've not been able to sort of connect to certain frequencies, I would say for the last 2 months, because I've had to sort of go different angles, different ways of getting to the dimensions, and I don't know why. It's just like one particular frequency is like blocked, not because I'm blocked or I don't feel like people are blocked. I think it's been blocked because of interceptions of very bad people like mind travel. So I think it's more to do with the draconians and sort of like the last ditch attempts of the very low dense reptilians. One more last ditched attempt. Just no, they've lost. I don't know, I'm sort of joking. Well, I don't care, I'll take the piss, I don't care, I'm just saying it as it is. But yeah, I just feel like the darker, dense energy, people that connect to the denser energies and use those sort of like dark matter and really sort of pull in and do what they do. So that feels like, so anybody that's into just travel through the Carrasbian Airways, that is now safe to start mind traveling. And then apparently you can now safely so this is another thing about the frequency. I want to get more information on this too. Apparently once you connect to this particular frequency, the Carrasbian Airways frequency, you can actually you can now safely activate your electrokinesis energy. And I'll tell you something else as well about that. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. And Halloween of all days, right? You know, like you get normal static electricity when you go, oh, ow, oh, okay, well, that's normal, right? Oh, hello there. Okay, just give me a moment. I just got jabbed. That could be confirmation. I'll keep going. If I get jabbed again, I'm going to shut up because I might have been told to stop, but just go with it, right? So, yesterday, I was out shopping, and if I touch certain things, it's like, it's not just like a static, it's like an electric shock. It's like, what the hell? It felt like I was like electrified yesterday. And I'll tell you, and I think that's to do with a lot of people, a lot of warriors and high warriors, you know, I hate saying the word chosen or selected because it really pisses people off and they get really pissed off and jealous, but get over it, right? Regardless, there is just a lot of people, it's not few, but there are many people that are well and truly selected and work for the higher order or the Federation. I've talked about it before, but there's major activation going on in certain peoples because of where we're heading into we're well and truly part of the fifth dimension anyway, but because we're helping the collective sort of transition, and a lot of people's abilities are getting well and truly activated. And I don't know what it was yesterday, but I felt like quite possibly I don't know, it felt like I was being could be to do with electrokinesis, but because it didn't matter who I touched or where I touched. I mean, I'll tell you something else as well about sort of having a strong sort of, I know this is probably blowing people's minds because most people don't understand what I'm talking about, but I have a certain shield, and usually when I'm connecting to people, if I'm having to sort of, if I touch somebody and I go to shake their hand and I get a major electric shock off that person, I ain't touching there's no way I'm going to be moving away from that person, because that is that is basically me in the give me a moment. Something's coming through. That's probably why I'm so it just means I'm in the vicinity of an extremely probably evil person, right, or somebody who probably works for the lower order. So that's a cue for me to get out of Dodge, away from these peoples. So that's now, I'm not saying that's with all people, but it's not just like, oh, static electricity, like a little electric shock. No, it's more intense than that. So that could be to do with electrokinesis, where that sort of comes out and becomes active when you're in the presence of very low, probably like reptilian scum. Do you know what I mean? So yesterday it felt like it was happening. Like I don't know. Maybe it was because it was Halloween. I don't know. And even the day before, I remember just feeling like everywhere I went and everyone I was touching it was like, what is going on? It's like everybody I touched, like most people I was sort of interacting with, there was just major shock, because I'm like, are all these people evil? So again, it's energy is energy, and that's why energy transference is very real. So when you get something like that, just keep away from them people, because you don't want to be interacting with them physically anyway, because you're going to be transferring energy. There's something going on. It's not like your normal static electricity sort of like, oh, we just got a little shit. No. It's different to that. It's more intense. So that was happening for me this last I'd say the last 2 days, which is ironic, because like I say, I was getting this message on the 28th. So this is, if you haven't already activated your electrokinesis, for people that understand their human abilities, this is one that's just getting activated from you, in you, whether you like it or not. So that's what I feel that's going on there. I'm going to try and get a bit more clarity on that tonight. So, let me just just see if my door's ready, because I mean I can't go through it right now because I've got to discuss this, but I just want to make, there's a lot of why my dimensional door is right there, and there's someone right in the middle of it, like stood right in front of it. Right, so I'm just going to need probably going to need an extra 10 minutes, because it's going to take, and then we're going to start connecting, because it's interesting. Oh, I can feel the downloads coming in. So what I'm going to do is I'll do a timestamp for this part that I'm discussing now, and then I'm going to send the link to this video to pretty much every single bank in the state of Arizona. They can distribute it nationwide, and hopefully their fraud, but I'm just going to send it to their fraud department. It's just a sort of like listen to the information, take notes down. If there's anything that this seems like it's going on, or it could be about to happen, they can send out a warning to all retail merchants and stuff like that. So 7:23 a.m. I was well and truly like astral traveling. Like that's usually what happens when I'm sort of working on the ether anyway, on the realms, when I'm okay. Excuse me. I just need a second. Just make sure there's nothing weird coming into my energy field or trying to get in. I mean, my guardians won't let them in anyway, but if they have to let me feel something, there's usually a reason for it. So, and that usually, when I'm channeling or anything like that, or connected, I don't know, it's not just a normal burp, I put it that way. But I don't know, it felt weird, so we'll go with it. Anyway. It almost made me feel like I wanted to just puke. That was weird. Fleeting. So, now, I was seeing this, I was like interacting, and it was so weird because I felt like I was in Goodwill. I mean, I like going in Goodwill anyway, but I felt like I was in Goodwill. And I was sort of seeing the cashiers, and there was 2 cashiers working, and it wasn't me working. I was just remote. I was like mind traveling, astral traveling, as if, you know. So I'm having to interact and see what's going on. And I remember there was a female cashier ahead of me. That's, you know, just like this side, and then whoever this cashier was a young guy, I believe. He was serving this couple. I'm going to discuss the visual, then I'm going to discuss the solutions, what you can do. But this Google Pay, where they can sort of tap their phone, right? It was so weird. It wasn't like they weren't using the card. They were using it there, like Google, like it felt like a Google Pay tap. And then, but what happened was, there was a message from that interaction to the point of service, you know, the cashier's till, the screen, the computer, right? There was a message coming up. Let me see what that message was, right? Because that's an important message. Oh God. 13 pages to so quickly. It kept saying that there was an error message coming up, right? The error message came up, and then it said something like, it's like connecting do you accept the payment, right? So it was like click yes to accept the payment, right? Which is normal because it's a or no if you don't. But it was the weirdest thing because what I was seeing, the cashier was like, what's the error message? And the guy who was holding the phone, and he was with another woman, he was with a woman or something, but I wasn't really focused on him, I was focused on the situation. And it was something to do with this error kept coming up on the screen saying, error connection, or do you accept? And I don't know what it was, but it got to the point where the young guy, he called over the manager, and that's when I sort of came to the vision. Like, now I felt like I was visually seen from a manager's point of view. So I'm looking at this error message, right? And I don't know if this happened yet, or it's happening, or it's about to happen. But I'm looking at this error message, and as I'm reading it, it says something like, do you accept all transactions through this terminal will be processed into this account? So the dude was using his Google Pay, whatever it was, right? Not saying it was that, but I'm assuming it was a Google Pay. Every time he was connecting to the POS system, the message popped up for the cashier to go, yes, we accept the merchant, yeah, we accept payment, right? But that's not what I was seeing. It was the message error came up. It's so very symbolic, so you know, just be aware, just work with me. What I was seeing, what was causing an error, was, do you accept all transactions made through this terminal? All transactions are to be processed into, all payments processed from this terminal into this account. So I was thinking, what the actual hell, what's going on? But I had to really look at it, and I'm like, okay, so there's a reason why I'm seeing this. And I kept pressing, well, I didn't press anything, because you know what caught my attention? As I'm looking at while I'm like, I do apologise, you're going to have to bear with me. We keep getting an error messages coming up, but just let me just see what's going on here. So these are like oblivious to like, okay, we don't usually have this problem with it anywhere else we go. What caught my attention was the young lady that was having on the other cashier. All of a sudden, the same message came up on hers, and I could see it clearly, and I was looking at it thinking, hang on a minute. So, and I looked at the person she was serving, but they weren't using they weren't using the Google Play. They were like trying to use a card. And I just said, oh, just give me one moment. I think our terminals are, there's something going on with the terminals. Let me just, because I can see the error message going on over there. I quickly ran over to the other cashier, and I just said, just give me a moment, please. It looks like we've got our POS system, our point of sale systems might be just playing up. So I was playing that card. As soon as I read the message again, the same message, the error message came up saying, do you accept all transactions made through this terminal, all payment process through this terminal are processed into this account? And I looked and I thought, it's the same messages over there. It's the same. Yeah, what the hell? Then I started writing like this code, like this error code down. And I couldn't see the code. I just remember writing was that the Google Pay, like, you know, what the account that belonged to him. So I just thought, well, okay. But just my intuition, right, as this manager, right, or this is what needs to be aware of. I just said to the lady she was serving, I said, I do apologise. Our system looks like our systems are going down. We can't take any card payments right now, so can you just shut the system down and log off, right? I just told her to log off immediately and shut the system, the cashier down. So she was doing that, and I just said, I do apologise, everybody. It just looks like we're having problems with our server, you know, just trying to, I mean, I'm not very IT tech savvy and all that sort of stuff, so, and then I came back to mine, and I remember just looking at this couple, and they're getting really antsy, and then, again, he'd just like, are you sure? Let's try it one more time, and he did it again, and then the message came up, and then I compared it, like, it's the same, but he's not at that terminal, so why is he trying to Google Pay at that terminal too? And then I looked at the message again, and it said it was all to do with, this message was stating something to do with, do you accept all payments processed through this terminal will be processed into this account? And I just thought, and I looked at him, and I said, I do apologise, sir. We've got this error message coming up. It looks like our server's about to just go down. I'm not quite sure what's going on. So and I just immediately shut the terminal down, right? And then I pretty much just said to everybody, I do apologise. It looks like our point of sale system's down right now. And I took like over the information, and I said, you just, you don't need to worry about anything being processed because no payment's gone through. So as you can see, because it's not taking the payments. So he got really annoyed, like, okay, well, this just sucks, kind of thing. Like, I don't have this problem everywhere else I go. Well, I do apologise, but if the internet, you know, it could just be the internet, it could be the server, anything, but there's something not connecting to our system. And then they totted off, and then immediately, I don't know why, as this manager, right? Immediately, I just called the bank, or we do the merchant services through, and I just explained. I said, look, this sort of message kept coming up, this error message to do with this. Is there anything going on with regards to fraud when it comes to using this sort of like tap service with your phone, Google Pay? Excuse me. And I explained what was going on, and that it was they were connecting to two separate terminals, and this lady on the bank, she just said, I'm just going to put you through to our fraud department right now. So, okay. So I was talking to somebody in the fraud department, and they would say, that's not normal. So can you explain what? So I explained to this fraud department at our bank merchant services, and I just said, this is what was happening, but I shut the terminals down. And immediately, see, I don't know if I was seeing a premonition or something that was coming, but immediately the person on the other side at the end of the phone said, oh, thank God you shut the terminals down. And I said, why, and he said because there's some sort of like, it's fraud, it's scamming, but what they're doing is, it's obviously it's very well written code, whatever it is, you know, because that's not my sort of field of my forte, but apparently there is a program created through hackers or scammers, whatever they do, that uses the Google Pay service, so the tap, and then basically what happens is, instead of just the normal message that would pop up on the terminal for the cashier, do you accept the payment from blah 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 blah, the customer, and normally they'll just go yes, and then it just processes the payment, right? I'm assuming, right? So that's not what this was. This was designed where the moment they connect their bank and they do whatever it is they're doing to that terminal, every single payment processed after he leaves, or this couple leaves, every single payment from every other customer that processed for that terminal, it will not go, the payments won't process into the bank, they process into that couple's bank. And then that's why what happened was, even though he was getting antsy, he was trying it on the other terminal that was already active, so he was able to just sort of like remote service is weird, whatever was going on here, to try it on another one, thinking that that cashier would just go, oh, okay, yeah, sure, accept, yeah, no, maybe not oblivious, but because I caught sight of it, which is why I walked over quickly and stopped it. So it was like, had he processed it through hers, the young lady on the other cashier, that woman would have been scammed. Her payment would have been gone, whatever you paid would have gone into his account. I don't know how this works, right, but this is what I was seeing, a scenario playing out, and how I was understanding. And from the high road, I was saying, this is a new fraud scam, and it's all very, you know, IT programmed that way to sophisticated, but it's using the Google Pay, something like that, or an online app where you tap and pay. So I just remember, so that's why I sort of stopped that situation, but they said, oh, thank God for that, because every single payment, future payment, would have gone directly into that bank account, and it wouldn't have been picked up. Well, it would have been picked up obviously by the banks. It's like, hey, where's our fees, right? And where's all the payments? And obviously the retail store's like, where's our money, right? So obviously, but it was all to do with ID theft, ID fraud and theft and everything. Oh God, it was really heavy. And so immediately, what was the other part they said? So, yeah, couple, blah, 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 the addresses. Yeah, because like I said, I did record, the only thing I did get from that couple was just, you know, just any problems, just give me your cell phone number, just write down your cell phone number and your names and address, and then basically any issues that come, I was saying to them, any problems because of this system going down, if they charge your account, obviously we're going to give you a call and sort it out and pay you back. So they dumbly like, yeah, sure, right? So we had that information, obviously that was used, right? And then obviously like CCTV cameras and all that beautiful, that's when CCTV cameras are useful. So, and then the bank, yeah, all future transactions would have, it made me, maybe that's why I was feeling sick, because that's how it made me feel when I was watching it. Oh, okay, interesting clarity right there. I did actually say, I just feel like confirmation or something that I just needed to book. Maybe that's what that was. Because it made me feel, when I was watching it, visually having to watch it, I felt really sick. Like, I feel sick. This is really sickening. So, after they hastily left the store, that's right. Okay, this is the part that was weird, right? Because this is, I don't know if they have this, or if this needs to be implemented and created, designed and implemented, right? Because for some weird reason, after I came off the phone with the bank merchant services, I went straight to this little button. There was a button. It was like an alarm, and it notified every single retail store that uses, like, in the, you know, like I don't know if it was the state or the city where I was in. I don't even know where I was. But every single store that Google tap pays via phones to shut down, as soon as I press this little alarm, every single retail store that uses the tap store within that vicinity, that area, it's a message to them. It's like an EBS. It was like an electronic broadcast system where it just said, shut down your point of sale systems immediately. Like, shut it down. Right? That's what came up. That's what I was seeing. Like, okay. So, yeah, and not to accept. Oh, yeah, not to accept and click. Yes, still. Yeah, that was really weird. It was almost like the owners of the store, it was like the message came through their phone. Like, you need to shut down all your point of sale terminals immediately, like servers, whatever. So we was through an alarm. And it's weird because I know in England, back in the day when I was running a bar and stuff like that, like if one bar is having like major fighting going on and like, or someone's committing credit card fraud, you know, we had a little, like an alarm that we just press, and then it alerts all the other pubs in the area that dodgy hookers are on their way in, or there's some just dodgy people on the way in, so just look out for these. And you know, they call us and go, what's going on? So that was back then, you know, that was like early 2000s. So really, there's got to be something like this already, and if not, it needs to be. So it was like an EBS system. So sorry, I've got 13 pages. I've got to quickly make sure I don't. Okay, so yeah, that was where I got the attention of the manager. Okay. To accept the device number oh god, that was it. That's the message. This is the message. Oh, where is my highlighter? So I don't now. This is, if any banks are watching this when I email this report, it's something to do. The message showed up the same. If the message shows up, to press yes or no to accept this device phone number. That fucking thing, right? Can receive all transactions from this server to this device. The cashier wouldn't know by clicking yes. This remote device has been given permission to receive all future transaction payments. The cashier would click yes, thinking they would just receiving a payment from that Google Pay device. Oh la la. So that's pretty much it. That I was sort of seeing. So, but yeah, there was something to do with, like I say, if they don't have a little sort of electronic broadcast system, it needs to be for this sort of reason, from banks, credit unions, all to their merchant retail services. Do you know what I mean? Now, if any banks or business are aware of processed transactions are being diverted away from the store's banking account to a random account, that's why. So, I'm not quite sure if this is recently happening or it's about to start happening. Now, if there's suddenly any banks or businesses are aware that processed pay transactions are being diverted, it could be something to do with what I'm talking about. If there's a fraud electronic emergency broadcast system set up to connect to, I just explained that, with an instant message that comes up to the managers to alert, shut down all your servers, because what that does is it stops these scammers from getting access, one, to the payments, but two, to alleviate it. Well, basically it stops any future sort of identity fraud, because it's not just the money that they get access to, there was a lot to do with the personal information too. So all of these like major breaches, well, this could be the next major breach that I was having to see for the higher order, was showing me this could be a huge breach, right, that could be happening or about to happen or has just recently happened, right? You get it. If it hasn't happened, be ready for it, right? Because it's a huge breach that, rather than having to sue every single retail company, right, which is not their fault because it's a But lawyers will go after all of the retail set. Where those people use that card, they will probably end up getting sued, right? So to avoid, and can you imagine how many retail businesses, like little scum merchants, scumbags, I hate them, hate these types of people. They had to find them, but unless you get the information like this manager did. But yeah, it caused a huge, like, nationwide breach of all retail. It wasn't just like one company, it was like hundreds, these big chain stores and everything. But again, you've got to remember, the banks weren't receiving these, you know, payments, etc., but they were not getting their merchant fees either. So you can imagine how pissed off the banks would be, obviously. So that's why they may have to come up with some sort of system to be ready for this. If this is either happened or if it, and I don't know, it just feels like it hasn't quite happened yet. It could be about to. Now, quantum financial system. I know, I'm very aware that there's a quantum financial system taking effect where it's going to change. I don't know too much about it. I just know things are going to be different with the quantum financial system. It could be something to do with that, where there could be a kink. When it kicks off and kicks effect, there could be something that, you know what it's like, right? Something new. There's always like a scammer out there can create something. Well, this could be something to do with that. So if that is a possibility, if that's a kink that needs to be corrected and, you know, fixed now, do it now. But if it's not that, if it's not to do with the quantum financial system, then it could be to do with an upcoming, huge breach. And I'll tell you something else. It did not feel like it was just these two people that had access to this program, this like scam thing, whatever it was. Do you accept all payments received from this terminal and processed to this payment account? Oh God, it's weird. It's the word language, right? This is what it was weird. It's the word language written through the programming that allows this device to accept all future payments. I know I'm just really going on about it again because I'm just sort of looking at my notes and my download. It's cunning because the cashier would be oblivious, like, because they just assume they're taking a payment from a... I hate technology. I love it for convenience, but I really don't like it. So, and yeah, they would just naturally click yes, and then that's it, and it's like, shit. So every single person after that uses that terminal and pays at that terminal, that money does not go to the retail bank account at all. It goes straight to this scam merchants. So I call them scamming scum. Okay. If you don't, and that was so weird as well, because I just like, you know, when I came out of it, I'm like, well, you know, if you don't have an alert system like that, right, already in place for something like this, if you do create it, if you create a sort of system, if this hasn't happened, and you take my advice and create you can call it the butterfly Karen alert. So that was, but why not? Because I just feel when it comes to sort of like ID theft, I'm really passionate about that kind of crap. But anything like this, I mean, banking and everything, you know, no business deserves to be scammed and loses money. No business. So I'm always going to be, I'm never going to be for the scammers. I don't care. Now, that's what I was worried about. Like, if one couple can just go around every single store with this sort of device, they probably paid a lot of money to get access to the, you know. But can you imagine how much they can sell that on to other people to do exactly the same thing? Oh, God. Then you get talking like, oh, there's like a domino effect right there. Like, thousands of people could just try it just for, and then get addicted to, oh my God, I've got all this money coming in. Oh God, I dread to think it. And I don't know how quickly I mean, God, it just feels like these people could steal billions. These sort of people, if they had access to this sort of programming scam that they can use directly from their phones for tap pay, oh, they can steal billions. And again, like I say, it could be like I just mentioned, it could be a kink in the quantum financial system that needs to be addressed right now, to avoid possible future issues or systems of kinks that need to be fixed. It's better to fix the kink here now and then deal with the consequences of a bigger problem later. That's what it feels like. If it's to do with the QFS, then deal with that right now, that kink. It could be something, if it's not, and it's just this sort of like tap pay stuff, something is going to be happening here. Something's going to, yeah. I mean, I will email every single corporate fraud department, every single bank and, like I say, credit union. That way, if they can just come to this video and go, okay, what's she talking about? Just get over that, just listen to what I'm talking, because it could save you butts, right? But that way, they can alert their retail, and just say, hey, I don't know if there's anything like that already up and running, but it's bigger than just stealing money. It's bigger than that. It feels like ID theft on a completely different level. But oh god, it was really, put it this way, it was bad enough to have to visually see it and write down 13 pages. So that is my solution. If it's a kink, fix the kink now. Either tap pay kind of crap, Google Pay, whatever it is, or if it's, like I said, in a kink and a QFS, or if you need to maybe create some sort of fraud system, a little EBS system. That's if you don't already have that. I'd like to think in this day and age, in 2024, that there is something already like that anyway. But to shut down just immediately, like it's an instant, just think of like EBS, silver alert, that kind of crap, right? It's like that, but it goes to the manager of every single retail store, and shut down your systems. So that way, if that goes through to a whole city of retail stores, it's better to just like have inconvenience of, I'm sorry, you can't use your card right now because all our systems and servers are down. It's better to be inconvenienced than be losing your money, right? Or losing billions or millions in like fraud and all that kind of crap. So, and I'm not like I don't give out financial advice or anything like that. I'm not qualified for that. So, but that doesn't mean I can't give you some intuitive intelligence that came through that clearly needed to be seen and addressed here. So that's why I feel like it hasn't happened yet, or something's about to happen, something big like that. And I'm not going to ignore the message, put it that way. So, hopefully I'll get some more clarity on if there's anything else from the higher order for tonight in regards to that, or to the Carrasbian Airways. I'm going to see if there's anything else coming, unless they have something else they want me to discuss. So, I am now... Oh, it's a bit nippy in here. Oh, I put my heating on already. It's beautiful here in Arizona during the day, but at night it's a little bit chilly. So, now, okay, I'm just going to zone out a little bit, and just please remember if oh god, my door's right, again, I've got energy stood right in front of my door. I need to figure out who that is, what's going on there. But if you do see the clock out and clock in time differs from the video time, it's depending on how long I'm zoned out. Just cut that. So, Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, cool. What the? Okay. Okay. Right. Oh, God. Right. I'm gonna just stop feeling like this is finished, yeah. Okay, so. Okay. This is the thing. This is to do with the Carrasbian Airways. Whoa. This is weird. Who the walk-ins? Who the walk-ins? High dimensional support. Oh my god, that's so weird. I'm gonna I'll tell you what I'm hearing, but now I can hear the coyotes. Like, I mean, it's normal at the time of the year, but as I'm focusing on that, I can hear these packs of coyotes just going wild. That feels very symbolic and relevant right now. Timing's good. Okay, so this is to do with the Carrasbian Airways, right? I was hearing quantum leaps. Guards, like shields guards, are up to avoid soul jumpers. What? Right. I'm so sorry, but I have to rewrite it because when I'm channeling, my handwriting is not great. Oh God, whoa. Oh, whoa. Whoa, I just had to feel what it feels like to have a walk-in, even though I haven't had a walk-in, but I need to describe that in a moment, so people might be experiencing this. Soul jumpers, right? Walk-ins are active. Right, okay. Whoa. Right. Right, okay. My terrible writing. So, walk-ins are active. Let me to release very low level energies, very low level and energies from bodies. Right. Wow, that feels weird. Do you know that feeling when you get like somebody just walked over and you rave, like, oh, right? It's like energy's walking through you. Well, do you know what? I just got the weirdest sensation that there is a lot, and also when I asked who was the walk-ins, I said high dimensional support, removing. Wow, why am I still removing low level energies from people's bodies that those bodies don't belong to? Oh my God. Oh, this is gonna sound weird. Okay, this is not easy to prove at all. Remember, energy is energy. Energy comes in different forms, it comes in different species and everything. So, and on the ether, basically, right, you've got the Carrasbian Airways was almost like, again, shut down, right? Blocked, stopped. Because apparently, I wanted clarity there, I got it as well, didn't I? A lot of these low vibrational energies, people that work for the lower order, they know how to astral travel. They know how to quantum leap and quantum jump and everything. They know how to sort of connect to people's energy frequencies. But a lot of them, like if you've got high dimensional species support right now that are able to become walk-ins. So basically it's a form of like, I hate the word possession, but it would be similar to that where you would, you could be in a state of consciousness, right? And you've got like a high dimensional, well, it's kind of like a form of channeling too. So it's no different really. Like if I'm sat here channeling, a walk-in could have just done what I just said. That's why I went, oh, right? Could have had a walk-in. But that's not unusual. It just means it's a form of channeling. So they sort of come in, give the message, or a lot of walk-in. Okay, why am I hearing a helicopter right over me? How interesting. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that or not. I just found that incredibly ironic that I'm talking about this kind of stuff. And then a Pink chopper flying over right now. I'm just going to quickly connect, see if there's anything else while that's totting off. Oh, it's low as well. Right there. So again, when people are channeling, right, especially when people like you're working with a higher order, you're naturally going to be able to connect and telepathically communicate and everything, right? But that does not mean to say a high dimensional being might just pop in for a quick second for whatever reason, or it's not like malevolent or anything like that. Now if you're working for the lower order and you've got lower dimensional, if you're an empty vessel, right, if you don't take care of your vehicle and you're into low vibrational behaviors and you're a proper low vibe, right, your physical vehicle is going to be susceptible and easy for a low vibrational walk-in, or a low vibrational, let's just say reptilian or something like that. That sort of low level energy. That's the kind of shit that can do a walk-in, and then again it's like a form of possession, but it might just linger inside your physical vehicle or your energy field, right? This is what I'm sort of talking about. It's really hard to explain. So if you're ever going to get a walk-in, you don't want it from a low vibing energy. You want it from a high dimensional energy, right? Because they are benevolent. They help you. They can, let me try and give you an example. Okay, I can give you an example. This was recent. This happened to me. I can't prove it, unfortunately, but I can share my experience. This is the definition of a high vibing walk-in. Happens all the time to people, just people don't know about it. That's all. People don't understand that, and they don't know. They just think, oh God, somebody just walked over my grave. It can just be, you remember, time is not time here. On those dimensions, there's no such thing as time. There's only time here. It's man-made. So you don't know, if you might just think, I'd like just somebody walked over my grave for a few seconds. Well, on that realm, they could have been walking. They could have walked in and been in you for like 2 hours. So it's hard to explain. Okay, I'll keep going. I think the easiest way for me to explain this, what it's like when you have a walk-in from a high frequent, high vibrational, high dimensional support network to an energy to a low vibing energy. I believe it was around July time. I remember it clear as day, because you do remember as well. That's the other thing. Like you feel. I mean, for me, I'm not really surprised, but I remember I was walking down the aisle, and I'm always very alert and aware of what my surroundings. And I urge all women, everybody anyway, men and women, but more so women, be aware of your surroundings. And I was walking down the aisles in Walmart, and I was just like, and my intuition is strong. And I just remember feeling like, am I feeling a bit paranoid, or is that guy just keeps showing up? Like, because every time I went down an aisle, this same guy, this guy just turned up there. And I'm like, okay, well, let's not get paranoid, right? Whatever. So I just kind of ignored it. And then I thought, well, if I see him down the, the aisle, I don't know what it was about him, but my intuition was screaming, like, keep an eye on this one. And it was the way he was acting. Like, he had nothing in his trolley at all. But every time I went down this aisle, it was there. And I'm like, and then it was, I just remember, because I was very, connected anyway. And I'm like, okay, when my intuition's screaming at me, it's also alerting my guardians. So as I was walking up to the aisle towards the cheeses, he just came almost like right in front, and he looked at me, but just before I saw him again, like, made eye contact, and you bet your ass I made eye contact. Before I was able to make eye contact with him, I just felt like, I felt instantly like a powerful energy, like, was right with me. So that could be classed as a walk-in. I just felt like my guardian angel was like, no one, you don't want to fuck with this angel, whoever this one is, right? But it was right there. And all it did, it made me feel like, the moment he looked at me, I made eye contact with him, and I just looked at him, and without saying anything, it was like, don't even think about it, I'm onto you. It was one of those, but it was a powerful stare, and it scared the shit out of him, right? And I didn't say anything, but telepathically, I was thinking, you clocked, I spotted you, tot off, but don't even think about doing what you're thinking about doing, right? Don't know who you are, but it was as you do, because you're a woman. But I only had to give him a look, and he just and he went, ugh, and he got scared. And I thought, well, I only looked at you. But that's not what he was. He was probably seeing my guardian like, oh, what the? So that's what happens when a higher dimensional support net, that's kind of what I'm talking about, will come in and do a walk-in. Just in immediate situations where there could be a sign of danger. If your intuition is screaming and is on high alert, you listen to that, and don't be surprised if you've got a good guardian team, you're going to have high guardian support. Now, I've got to go here apparently. This feels like it's serious. So, now when you go, reverse it. And you've got to remember, when you vibrate and have vibrational frequency too, like people like me, we're always aware of everything, because we're here on the physical realm, like, this is our 3D, okay, but our minds are constantly on 5D anyway, and higher, depending on what dimension we're on. But we carry a different energy, a completely different energy. You only have to walk into a store and it just screams. It emanates. Energy emanates from you, right? That's why people stare at certain types of people. I'm not talking about hot people. Nothing to do with whether you're hot or not. It's not that sort of low vibrational energy. It's an energy that makes people go, what the actual just walked in, right? Energy is energy. So you can always, your energy will speak before you speak. Your energy emanates so loud that people just go, what the, who is that? What is that? Right? It's the only way I can explain it. That's how powerful your energy can be when you are a high vibrating person. And you want your energy to be high vibrational, because you want to be, your energy is so powerful that it screams, low vibes, stay the F away from me, right? It's as simple as that. That's what you want. You want to emanate energy like that. Now, if you're a low vibe, right, you're going to get stared at for a different reason, especially if you're hot and young and all that kind of crap. You're going to get stared at by men and women. It's just the way it is, right? But I'm not talking about that. It's not that sort of energy. Your energy, when you're a low vibe, you don't get the same attention. You get the attention, but you do not get the same attention. So But what happens is when you vibrate on a low vibrational frequency, you are surrounded by energies. We're always surrounded by energies, right? Very dense energies, low vibrational. They're all around us. The dimensions are all around us. You might just because you're not seeing beyond the veil, you're not able to tap into those dimensions. You're not going to see it or feel it or anything. So, but when you're on a low vibrational frequency, you're not going to feel a thing. You're vibrating too low. You need to be high vibing, right? So what happens is those energies are going to be like, I'm trying to give an example. Let's just say, for example, some hot dude, right? Very like love, he absolutely loves himself, male or female, regardless, right? I don't know, it's hard to say. I don't really want to sort of stereotype, but no, let's skip that. I don't want to do that. It's just an energy signature. If your energy signature is low vibrational, you're going to attract the wrong energy, right? It's going to attract the lower level energies on the lower dimensions, and they're around us. When you're a high vibing energy, you're going to attract all the high vibrational energies that are around us. So if you're vibrating low, the walking could be of a reptilian low level, right? The walking could be demonic, it could be a demon, something like that. Different species are different species. Energy is energy. That is what's going to attract your signature. Right. Okay. This is why you need to be high vibing. Really raise your vibrational frequency. Low dense negative energy cannot go, and it hates light, right? When you are high vibing, you are light. My greatest weapon is love and light. When I say all that, I do say a few times, I don't have a man-made weapon. I have a different type of weapon, right? It's not a weapon that hurts people, humans. My love will heal them. My light will annihilate fucking low-level energies, right? That's the point of my weapon. When you are really high vibrational and you understand who you are and how powerful your energy is, because it's that light, it's full of fucking light force. The moment you walk into the vicinity of low, dense energies that are around you on any dimension, they're going to run a mile. They're going to be like, oh my God, I can't go anywhere now. That's going to annihilate me, right? That's what light force does. When you understand how to work with light force and pull it in and use it to attack demons and stuff like that, and low, dense energies, and clear out dense, negative darkness, that's what it does. So when you're on low vibes, right, in people, they can't stand you because you're different, you're light, you're high vibing. They're all low vibes, right? I'm like, oh my God, who does she think she is? My God, like, that crap, that low vibrational crap. That's jealousy. They've realised they were now in the vicinity, in the area, or in the company of a high vibrational person who's full of light force, right? And they don't have any of that. Zero, nothing. They're too low vibrational. My energy signature, I'm just using me as an example, as a high vibe. My energy signature is up here. Theirs is right down there. How is their energy signature gonna match mine? It's not possible. Well, that's the same with low dense energies on the ether, on the etheric realm, on the spirit realm, on the dimensions. That the energy, it can't connect to my energy because it's like, well, it's just so high, right? Oh my God, I can't reach, I can't get up there to walking or anything, and if I get too close, you can annihilate me. So that's what it's like. And then so what they'll do is they'll naturally congregate to a low vibrational energy in human form and suck off that energy force, right? It's as simple as that. So but then what happens is when low vibrational dense energy, like, again, I don't need to keep reiterating what they are, when they come, they can't be around. They love the energy, don't get me wrong, they love it. They're like, oh my God, look at all that light. Oh my God, look at all that life force. Oh my God, let me get close enough so I can suck off some of that light force and give me an energy boost, right? So, but unfortunately, they can't be around you for more than 10 minutes. Like, they'll start shaking. Now, if they were walking in a human being, that human being's going to start shaking like, oh, why am I, right? Because your little reptilian or your demon or your low-level pal it's not an energy signature match, and it's like it's just getting vaporized basically. It's got to run. It's a good way. It's a great when It's great for me because I can do releasements that way. I can walk into certain areas and just like be present and don't do anything apart from like emanate light and get it out there. Boom, boom. And all of those low vibrational people that have got attachments, their little demons or whatever's attached to them is going to scatter. So it gives them some energetic breathing space for a while. And why do I feel a bit light? Why do I feel a bit dizzy? Why do I feel a bit... Ooh. You just had a free exorcism. Right? So, that's, you know, keep a sense of humour about it. But that's kind of what that's like. Wow, I had to go on there. Why on earth, higher order, did I have to really go on there? Maybe that just needs to be explained, because this wouldn't make sense. So that's high dimensional support walk-ins to low dimensional walk-ins, because they're not going to support you. They're going to just like take over you. They'll try and influence you to stay low vibrational. Now, quantum leaps, guards are up to avoid. So it feels like there's been a lot of people who work for the lower order and understand how they can quantum leap and quantum jump and stuff like that, but they can sort of connect to people's, well, it's just another form of astral spy in it, but it's more, they're trying to switch souls. Yeah, I'm not convinced by that. I would need, I'd have to see that to believe that. But then again, I'd still need evidence, because I'm still logical, even in my wacky, weird world. But there's these people out there that go, I'm going to soul transfer with you. No, you're not, you demented creature. Go and get some therapy. That's people that are very ungrounded people who believe they can soul switch, soul swap with people. I'm not quite sure what dimensional planet or whatever dimension they're on at this point, but those are not very grounded people. And again, those tend to be the people that dabble in the dark arts and stuff like that. Your physical vehicle belongs to you, right? During your life experience, your soul is here. That's it. So I feel like the soul jumping. There's people that might be trying to do this. So like, let's say for example, you've got somebody's like astral. You know, when we go to sleep, the body shuts down and the brain shuts down. So, you know, just to rest. But you can be mind traveling. Your soul can actually be astrally traveling and everything. And most people don't realize they're doing that. So. But your freaking soul is still connected to your physical vehicle. The only time your soul is going to disconnect from your physical vehicle is on your death date. So maybe the only way that could work is when you pass away, your soul like, it's time, my time. Some soul jumper quickly comes into your body and then revives it somehow, and then. But I'm very skeptical about that. Even I'm like, anything's possible, but so don't be worrying about that. And anybody says, I'm going to steal your soul, I'm going to like soul transfer, I'm going to destiny swap with you, just go and get some therapy, up your fucking meds, topped off, you freak. Just deal with those people like that, because they're not, well, first of all, they're not good human beings, right? They're doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. They're into stuff they shouldn't be into. And they hurt people. And they're the ones that will manipulate people's energy and energy attacks and everything. But they have adopted this weird mentality where they can destiny swap with people. Don't get me wrong. It's apparently a real thing. But when you're self-possessed and you're in control of who you are and you know who you are, they can't do a damn thing. So, no. Your soul is attached to your physical vehicle for the duration of your life cycle. It's not going anywhere, it's not going to disconnect, and nobody can disconnect it for you unless they're physically murdering you, right? That's the only way they're going to kill your body. Well, that's what they'd have to do. Your soul's not going to die. Your soul's going to move on. Just don't. That's too dark. But I can't stand those people at all. Those types of people, very ungrounded in the mind and everything. So unfortunately, the kind of crap they get involved in, they're the ones that abuse remote viewing methods. They're the ones that abuse their astral spies and everything. These are fucking weird. These what these people do, right? So they spy. They do all weird stuff. But the good thing is, the universal laws deal with them. So, okay. Oh. Okay, I touched on something. Here we go. Right. I was just about to say, I can explain the repercussions of universal law, but it's hit me. Because it's connected to these soul jumpers, these low-level walk-ins. Okay. This is why the guards have been up. The guards. Right, okay. What is going on? What is the repercussions of these soul jumpers trying to do walk-ins with? They're astrally traveling, right? They're astrally traveling, and then they're going to people's bodies to try and do walk-ins on them to steal information. Like, oh, I can hear the farts. Oh, fucking idiots. Now, if you're alert, this is why you got to have a protection shield. So you should always. This is why you got to be high vibrational. I'm serious, because when you're low vibrational, you're susceptible to anything. You'd be amazed what can influence you and everything. But okay, what is the repercussions for these soul jumpers? I'm just going to call them soul jumpers because that's what I was hearing. Okay. Trapped. Right. Here's the universal laws, consequences of people that astral travel and start abusing that ability and start trying to mess around and affect people's energy fields, especially when they're sleeping and stuff like that, right? Every time that, so, right. Here's a soul jumper. Here's a person, right? Knows how to astral travel, deep transcendental and meditation. Here's an unsuspecting person, fast asleep, in la la dream world as normal. This twat, right? Astral travels, connects to the energy frequency of that person, right? If they've mastered telepathy, they're going to listen to that person's like dreams and thoughts and all ideas and all that beautiful stuff. Because this might be a low vibrational person that doesn't have much of doesn't have a strong energy field, like an energy shield around their energy field or anything like that. So now this is what you call astral spying. It's just a form of astral spying. And then, but in order for them to do that, they have got to astral travel, right? So now they're mind traveling. They're only in a meditative state. This person's asleep. This is major intrusion, right? First of all, this person might not be able to have might not have a lot of guardians or anything like that, but the universal laws, like, and the higher orders, like, keep going. Okay. Oh, well, okay. Strike one. Keep an eye on what this person's doing. And then, because if you're not really helping and you're stealing or you're up to no good and you're being nefarious reasons, basically what happens is that soul that's astral traveling, because it's like mind traveling your soul. Your soul is what travels. It mind travels, right? It's got to come back to its physical vehicle, right? And wake up and go, oh, I just got loads of, like, it's almost like gathering information. It's what you call astral spying. What I'm doing is channeling. I'm showing you what I'm doing. I don't do it in secret. I don't do this crap, right? People do this crap. People that wait for the lower order do this crap. So, now, here's the repercussions. When they're in the midst of travelling back, they're getting trapped. Right. So depending on what dimension this twat, this astral traveling, mind traveling twat, right, I'm going to call him exactly that, has, depending on what dimension they've connected to infringe, completely infringe and absolutely remote view or astral spy and basically break universal law doing that, right? That's the dimension their mind stays on. That's it. They're not coming back fully. So, what's the physical implications for that? Well, if there's a soul disconnection, right? Death as a soul disconnection. If the soul gets disconnected and that energy is then, that soul energy, remember it's your soul you're travelling with. If that's trapped, it can't come back to its physical body. That person might die during that transcendental, deep meditative state. You know, this is what's coming through. This is what's happening. Trapped. It's like a lot of these low vibrational, low level worshipping astral spies, soul jumpers are getting trapped on dimensions and they're not able to come back to their physical vehicles. Now, if they are able to come back, that's a weird sort of diagram, right, I'm drawing there, but so if the soul gets disconnected, and remember, we all have a death date, but what's happening with these peoples is that they're shortening their death dates. They're bringing it like, it's like the universal law is like, no, we're going to shorten you. I'm like, no, screw you. You're not living to your 90 now. You can, we're going to pass you away. We're going to cut yours at 42. Now, that's universal law. That's the highest order. That's in charge of that. No human can control that. Don't, like death. The angel of death might go, it's going on here. Okay, is this person taking the piss? I'm going to be sarcastic. What are they doing? Can I, what's their death date? Can I intervene? Can I take them earlier? Depending on the highest order, might go for it. And then the angel of death is called in karma. He's going to come for your soul, but right. So you might not end up fulfilling your life cycle in this human experience. So you're going to have to start again, or they're going to keep you trapped on that dimension. Now, if you do come back, you may come back and be completely mentally ill and broken down, like mental breakdown and everything, because you're messing around with the mind, and that affects the brain. So, okay. This is one form of energy manipulation and a form of creating energy attacks and energy spy and energy intrusion, energy infringement, right? Nobody has a right to be doing any of that to anybody. The universal law and the higher order is in control, and they are monitoring every intention of person that's involved in this kind of crap. When you got your little witches I'm talking about at the start of this, they do similar stuff. They mess around with rituals and witchcraft and all that kind of stuff, and dark arts of how to manipulate someone's energy, remote viewing, right? Remote intrusion, sending attacks to someone's energy field. Same principle applies to them. You start sending death fucking spells and, you know, performing these rituals. You start sending death energy to another person's energy frequency to try and shorten or cut their timeline or cut their life cycle. Dr. Death, what's going on there? Angel of Death. If that person's protected, or or the universal law, or the higher order's like, no, this person, screw those witches. This person's not ready to go yet, and no, well, they'll probably feel a bit ill, but no, they'll get shielded. It's the only best way I can explain it. However, angel of death, just, you can go and get that one, right? What energy you send out is coming back. What you put out there will come back. to you. It has to go somewhere. If it doesn't go to the designated point that you need it to go to, or the person per se, whatever, right? It's got to go somewhere. It's not just going to go into the universe and go float around. It's going to come right back to the sender. This is what I'm talking about, these silly little witches and warlocks and all this kind of crap, and people that do this stuff. They think that the universal laws and the way the karmatic laws and everything and the law of attraction don't apply to them unless they're on the receiving end of something, right? They are so full of shit, right? They are so delusional. That's the problem. They're not grounded with any real logic. They just think the universal laws don't apply to them because they're messing around in the dark arts and the dark side of everything. The universal laws apply absolutely to them. What you do to another will come back onto you. Depending on how much you've done or how many you've done it to, will come back tenfold. So, for example, if you're sending death spells to somebody continuously, like, take that bitch out, because you're just a jealous little moron who needs to get a grip on reality, right? That reality, this fair dimensional matrix crap, if you're constantly sending that death energy out, and it's not going to hit the person because the angel of death's like, you can send that shit all you want, love, or mate, whatever, right? Man or woman. But I can't take them. It's not their time and they're not going anywhere. But you, that energy you've been sending out to this person, all of that is going, all of the attempts, every piece of ounce and energy you've been sending to this person or other people that you've been sending it to, that's all going back to the senders. It's really that sad, and it's really that's how, the easiest way to explain it. And so you've got the witch sort of craft side of it. I'm not talking about white wicca or anything like that. I'm not talking about light witches or anything like that. I'm talking about those that mess around in the dark side of witchcraft, right? Who hurt people, who manipulate people's energy, who do stuff they shouldn't be doing. Voodoo, the whole lot. Abusing voodoo. Abusing witchcraft, right? But then on the scientific spectrum of the dimensions and energy manipulators, energy walking, soul jumpers that have mastered or just know how to sort of do quantum leaps and quantum jumping and all that kind of stuff, astral spying. So this is a thing. This happens all the time. It's really, really sad, but it looks like, I'm not even surprised in this year, and it's intense because we're coming up to the end of 2024 and it's going to get more intense, which means it feels like the Carrasbian Airways, that airway frequency has been like blocked all year, like so nobody can be teleporting or anything like that. But now it's safe to connect to that now, because it looks like, by the feel of the universal laws that have taken effect, justice, well, obviously judgment's been called, obviously, but justice has taken effect, which means the soul jumpers are getting trapped. They're either getting trapped in their heads, in their minds, for the rest of their life cycles, which is like full-blown mental breakdowns and everything, or they've shortened their lifespans, basically. So, yeah, teleportation, and now they've sort of controlled the whole that frequency. It's like it's allowing those that are supposed to connect to that Carrasbian airway frequency, so they can connect to it again and teleport through it, timeline jumping, etc., so they can activate their abilities that are supposed to be activated. And yeah, because a lot, it's like, and it's weird, they specifically said the brotherhoods, working for the lower order using darker dense energy have now been blocked. Well, yeah. So I guess the most basic, let's just go here, the most basic way of being trapped is not death and it's not mental breakdowns. It would be third eye chakra blocked, closed. You're not seeing a damn thing. You're not going to man travel. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to get any information. So that's like, that would be like strike one. And then strike two is carry on with this shit. You're going to end up like being trapped in your head. Literally, your mind. Yeah, mental breakdown basically. And worst case scenario, you just gotta go. You gotta get off this planet. You're just doing too much crazy damage and you're hurting too many people. That's just how it feels. So it's like 3 strikes, yeah. And it's like a lot of these in this brotherhood's working for the lower order. It feels like those types of people have well and truly stepped over. They've had strikes after strikes, and they're done. And that was coming directly from the Great Brotherhood of Light. They're part of the higher order. They're connected to the higher order. So the Carrasbian Airways frequency for teleportation and telepathic communication is now a safe line for those who need to teleport from multiple dimensions. And there's people that need to start mind traveling again properly, because we've moved into the new earth anyway. We've moved into the 5th dimension. So there's people that they may have been trapped from moving their mind from this 3D reality into the 5D. So they're maybe the ones that need to. I mean, like I say, a lot of us, like me, a lot of us, we've been there all along. We've already been doing all of this for, well, eons. Oh, a long time. It's not our first rodeos, but in this life, this life of time now, this life experience now, we've probably been awakened since we were kids. So we've been dealing with this since we were kids anyway. So, but we know there are millions of people moving their consciousness over to the 5th dimension. So, but in order to do that, there's a lot of mind travel that goes into it, and it's just shifting your mind, reality, and everything. So, but this doesn't feel like it's just for like, oh, you got to pull. It's not so much like you got to unplug from the matrix system. No, this feels like there are people that have been trying to connect to this particular frequency, and they've all been blocked. And it's not been blocked because they've done anything wrong or they've, crossed a universal law. No. It's because they've been blocked to protect them from astral fucking spies. Oh, do you know? And soul jumpers and the possible walk-ins, the lower level walk-ins. But the good thing is there's been this high dimensional support. So there's been high dimensional beings supporting removing low level energies. So that's pretty. It's just part of it's just part of one area and one part of the interdimensional war I've been discussing all year. And this is just happening on the etheric realm, on the ether. So it's just one part of the war. I mean, that's bad enough. Okay, my lord. Good lord. Anything else, higher order? Okay, nope. It doesn't feel like anything else is coming through, so I'm going to close this energy out. Yeah. Okay, let me just close out with a higher order and then I can close out the time. Okay, right. So, whatever you're doing on the ether or the spirit realms or the dimensions, whatever you're into, you better make sure your intentions are pure and good and honest and truthful. Because if you're the complete opposite to any of that, you're going to get dealt with you're going to get dealt with. That's it. You may not come back to your physical vehicle depending on what you're doing with your soul attacks. And that was weird. Okay. Nothing's ever random when I'm channeling, so this could be soul attacks. It's just energy attacks, soul attacks. Sick and tired of these fucking people. Yeah, these soul jumpers, that's what they could be doing. Performing soul attacks on people. Yeah, don't. I'm just going to leave the universe to deal with these people. But it looks like the warning is, the memo is, they're all done. If they're doing this, they're all done. They're going to be dealing with the consequences, basically. As a spiritual narcissist for you, what do you expect? Right? The rules don't apply to me. I'm the victim. It's everybody else's fault. It's the universe's fault. Yeah, okay then. Okay. So, we are going to close this out exactly 10 p.m. So, 10. I've been seeing 10 all the blooming time. Numbers are everything, but I just feel it's endings and new cycles. I'm serious, new cycles are beginning now. So all old cycles are ending, closing out and everything. And probably a lot of people, if you understand what I'm talking about, all cycles, karmatic debt paid for and everything, which means amazing new cycles at the start of 2025. You can enjoy it. Right? If you've cleared your karmatic debt, don't go backwards. Don't go back to the low vibes. Stay the hell away from them. Stay in your lane. Stay on track, right? Because, new cycles are starting. And they're starting already, but I feel like, people are going to get really hit with them in 2025. But these are good. These are cycles you've been working really hard towards. These people and creatures, don't even worry about them. Don't be, none of your business. Leave them to it. None of your business. Focus only on you. Stay in your lane. Stay away from the low vibes. If you're a low vibe, raise your vibrational frequency. You want to transition into the fifth dimensional consciousness right now. So, I hope anything I've discussed tonight in this session has helped. Like I said, I will touch base with the banks. They can filter out memos, etc. via emails. It'll be easy for them to do it. I can't contact every single retail store in Arizona. Sorry, no. I'll let the banks do that. So, yeah, just get on the right side right now, the correct side. I won't be messing around with any of that dense energy, that low level energy right now. So, but I'm going to leave that there because I'm ready for some sleep now. I'm actually just, I don't know what, I feel like I'm going to have to call this like a Halloween special. I'll think of a title. Halloween special something. Because of the time. Like I say, I was going to do this last night. But there's no one connecting to like an energy field. No way. I was well and truly protected. Like I had my shields up and everything. So, guardians all around me. Like, because of what I have to deal with in people. Low vibes. So, this would be sort of like Halloween special. I'll think of something. Halloween special, multi-dimensional. That rhymes. Yeah, Halloween special, multi-dimensional. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to call it. So, other than that, my people, enjoy November. It is now November. Oh God, I'm a Scorpio. Oof, it's my month. And as I was saying, like the moon is now in Scorpio, so it's going to be all passionate and crazy and cool and, calm if you're a Scorpio. just, I'm not talking about your Scorpio placements. I'm talking about full-blown Scorpios, right? Just emotions are going to be heightened. People are going to try and trigger you, but they shouldn't want to be. They don't want to be messing with you, Scorpions, right? In this season, in this new moon, you're joking, right? In this energy. So if they've got half a brain, they'll leave you alone. But if you're feeling a bit, I'm not talking about the low vibe Scorpios. There's two types of Scorpios: high vibes, low vibes. You high vibing, low vibes will just do what they want, right? Let them I don't care about low vibes, right? They need to work on themselves. But you high vibing Scorpios, you're probably going to feel the energy wants to like, do I need to kick off? Don't do it. Just deep breaths. Don't be reacting. Because it's our energy. What you want to be doing, you high vibing Scorpios, is really sort of meditating in that energy, because it's our energy. And it's death and rebirth. It's literal death energy. Scorpion energy right now. It's like I said, it's the end of the old cycles and it's the start of the new ones. So if you're a high vibing Scorpio and you do a lot of meditation and you're well and truly connected, and God, your intuition is going to be well off. You know, it's going to be like that right now. So it's going to be more heightened. So listen to your intuition. Listen to your guardians, because they're going to be like on you right now, going, "You're right. It's okay. We got you." So, just, you know. And I feel like for the next week or two, maybe go into hermit mode for a week or two, just so you can like control your own emotions, and you have to deal with like people in, right? If you can't not be around people, you're gonna have to meditate throughout the day, right? Just from the moment you leave and you got to people until you get home, and then just reground, because it's tough energy, but again, it's beautiful energy too. You got to remember that. We've got to understand that Scorpio energy right now is beautiful. It's amazing to work with, and it's powerful. So depending on what you want to do with it, make sure your intentions are good though. Yeah. Happy birthday, Scorpios. So other than that, I will see you all soon.